What would it take to send a future NBA icon to prison before he ever touched the league? Before Allen Iverson became the answer, before the MVP, the crossover, the culture shift, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. To understand why, you have to start where fate was the cruelest. June 7th, 1975, the housing projects of Virginia. At just 15 years old, and Iverson gave birth to his son, Allen Iverson, alone, with no security, no safety net, no promises waiting on the other side. Sewage-filled streets were the first thing he saw when he opened his eyes. Gunshots in the distance became the soundtrack of his childhood. And his father, still a boy himself, disappeared early, leaving behind a young mother and a child pushed into the corner of life from the moment he was born. And Iverson didn't run. To keep her son alive, she worked multiple jobs, cleaning by day, overtime by night. Hunger was a constant in Allen's childhood. But what stayed with him even longer was the sight of his mother's bent back. Never broken, never surrendering. That image planted a seed deep inside him. No matter what, he would never bow to fate. Basketball wasn't the first thing that found Allen Iverson. Football was. On the field, he sprinted without hesitation, collided without fear, cut without mercy. Again and again, his body hit the ground. And again, he got back up in those adrenaline-soaked moments. Poverty, fear, and uncertainty were paused. Just for a second. That's when he realized something for the first time. Talent might be his only ticket out. At 9 years old, fate finally turned. His mother, an Iverson, a former basketball player herself, saw it instantly. The long arms, the explosive first step, and that defiance written into his bones. Even though Allen had no interest in basketball, she didn't give him a choice. She almost dragged him onto the court. From that day on, his stepfather, street hustlers, and older opponents became his training partners. Out there, winning earned respect, losing earned ridicule. And inside that unforgiving furnace, Allen Iverson was forged, hammered again and again, into the street ball style. That would one day change basketball forever. By high school, his talent exploded. At just 6 feet tall, Iverson wasn't just the centerpiece of the basketball team. He was also a terrifying quarterback on the football field. Winning felt inevitable. In 1991, he led his basketball team to a long-awaited district title. In 1992, he took the football team to a state championship. And in 1993, he did the unthinkable, winning state titles in both football and basketball, while claiming MVP honors in both sports. Overnight, Allen Iverson became the brightest young star in all of Virginia. It felt like he held 2 invitations in his hands, one to basketball immortality, the other to football royalty. And then, at the very peak, fate showed its most brutal face. February 14th, 1993, Valentine's Day. Fresh off his double championship season, Iverson walked into a bowling alley with friends, meant to be nothing more than a celebration. But a few racially charged insults lit the fuse. Words turned into shoves. Shoves turned into chaos. And soon, more than 50 people were involved. Chairs flew. Glass shattered. The bowling alley collapsed into total disorder. 2 days later, the storm arrived. Iverson was taken to the prosecutor's office. 20 white teenagers gave the same accusation, that Allen Iverson had struck a girl with a chair. But here's the irony. The alleged victim never testified in court. Iverson denied involvement from the beginning, insisting he had already left before the fight escalated. Security footage showed no sign of him. But at that moment, truth didn't matter. He was too famous. Racial tension exploded. Media coverage fueled the fire. Public opinion delivered its verdict before the trial ever ended. September 8th, 1993. The sentence came down. Allen Iverson was labeled the ringleader, convicted on multiple charges, sentenced to 5 years in prison. Overnight, a teenage prodigy became a criminal. His world didn't just shake, it collapsed. But justice wasn't completely silent. Protests erupted. The NAACP spoke out publicly. Under overwhelming pressure, the court granted parole due to lack of evidence and ultimately dropped all charges. At 17 years old, Iverson thought the nightmare was finally over. Reality had something worse waiting. College acceptance letters returned unopened, not because he lacked talent, but because no school was willing to take the risk. Every door was closed, until one man stepped forward. Georgetown head coach John Thompson ignored the noise, stood against the backlash, and reached out to a teenager the world had nearly erased. This time, fate didn't knock Iverson down. He reached back and grabbed the rope with everything he had. because the real story was only just beginning.